to hear that kind of music in Sweden on Swedish radio. And
Sure.
when I heard, Black Knight with Deep Purple, it was, that hard rock, that certain drive and the energy and the power within that particular kind of music really grabbed my attention. It was, just something in there that really grabbed hold of me. And so from that point, it was basically, the 70s hard rock bands that I was, listening to or trying to find music with, like Deep Purple and Led Zeppelin, Black Sabbath.
Sure.
Later on, UFO, Thin Lizzy, and Rainbow. They were all, they were all like, mentors for me.
Sure.
And pinpointed the way for me.
Yeah. We're going to talk here later on about that a little bit. That's interesting that you said about UFO. One of the producers that y'all got a chance to work with and stuff. We'll get into some question about that. But yeah, folks, those I delayed getting you on YouTube, hoping that this would solve itself for it. But we have Mr. Ian Haugland from the rock band Europe joining us. He's gracious enough to be joining us from Sweden, his home today, and we just wanted to kind of catch up the YouTube people on what we were doing and who we got and all that great stuff. Tammy, you got something you want to go with?
I do. So, Ian, you joined Europe in the summer of '84. You replaced their current drummer, or then current drummer, Tony Reno. I was just wondering, what was it hard for you to come on? Did you guys gel right away? What was that situation like?
Well, the opportunity for me to become the new drummer was basically grounded a few years earlier when Europe entered that, the rock competition that they later on went to win and the first prize was to record the first album and so forth. I had another band around that time, and we were on the same bill sort of for one of the parts competitions that was leading up to the final. And they saw me with my band playing drums, and I was also the lead singer in that band. It was like a three-piece power. We were inspired by Rush and Black Sabbath and all those kind of bands. So they, for some reason, they remembered the crazy drummer who was also the lead singer and in this weird band. And so when I was the first drummer that they thought of once they were looking for a new drummer. So at the time I was working at Arlanda Airport, the Swedish International Airport, and so I got the phone call from the manager and the management, and they asked me, would you be interested in auditioning for the guys? Try if you want, if you can do it, if they are happy with you. So that was, basically the biggest thing that could happen to any musician in Sweden at that time, around that time, because Europe was the only and by far the biggest rock band in Sweden at the time, with a record company, recording contract and tours and everything. So for me, it was just like, absolutely, I just dropped everything and went for it. And I did that session or we met up and we tried out 3 or 4 songs, I think. And so that was basically that. And they immediately said that, yeah, you're going to be, we want you to be in the band. So it was an easy process to get into that. And I felt a tremendous responsibility to do my best and to lift the band to a higher sort of level, because I guess that's what they were looking for with a new drummer. And, so I had a lot of I felt responsibility, and I still do. I still feel the same responsibility to deliver the best show ever on every show. But I mean, the music that they played were basically 100% the kind of hard rock music that I was listening to, and they were very inspired by Thin Lizzy and UFO at that particular time in the early 80s.
Right.
So so it was kind of easy for me to get into the band and to get into the songs and everything. But of course, I was kind of nervous on the first couple of gigs. I had never done any show or any gigs that big with that big audience and stuff like that. So yeah, it was an enormous honor to be given that chance to
Absolutely. Oh,
Were
I
you
bet.
nervous?
Sorry?
Were you nervous?
Well, I was nervous on the first show, definitely, because well, actually, the first show that we did was on an outdoor fairground in Stockholm, and where a lot of the biggest artists that have come to Sweden have played that stage, and well, such as Thin Lizzy and Rush, some of our biggest heroes were playing the same, the same venue or the same stage. Yeah. So just the fact that to have my first show with the band on the very same stage that I saw just a couple of months earlier, Thin Lizzy playing, that was, that was ground shaking for me to just, if someone would have told me, 20 years earlier that you're going to be playing drums on that same stage, I would just, no, you're fucking mad. So it's, yeah, it was a dream come true. It's far beyond the dream come true, I would say.
Yeah, yeah. I have no idea. I have done so much research preparing for this one that I do not, and I feel bad that I did not write down the particular person that wrote this article, but I thought I highlighted it and wrote it down because I thought it was very, very spot on. But I want your opinion about it. You were talking kind of about your drums, the drum style that they were looking for when they, had you join the band and all that. This gentleman wrote, his powerful drumming style and consistency has been pivotal in the band's enduring success and influence in the rock genre. That's huge words there. That's big time. What do you?
Huge.
Yeah, it should make you feel awesome, right?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, makes you realize that you do something right. That's good. That's good.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but I think it's pretty much he's pretty much right in that. Because, over the years, I have to admit that over the years I've always been kind of I had kind of low self-esteem when it comes to playing my drums. Just trying to figure out what my actual style is.
Yeah.
It took me well into the 90s before I realized that I even though Neil Peart from Rush is one of my idol drummers, I could never be like him, or Ian Pace or John Bonham. All I can be is myself and just do my thing.
Yeah.
So, but it took a long time for me to realize that, I have to say. But once I realized it, I sort of focused on what I realized. I focused on being playing consistently and being a groover rather than being too technical.
Yeah.
And have play with more personality than technique.
Right.
I mean,
yeah, absolutely.
I think personality is by far more important to display than technique. Anyone can learn to play fast enough, basically. But not everyone have the feel, and feel you can't learn, feel you just have.
Yeah. Ian, I gotta ask on top of that one. I gotta ask you this: is it more difficult to do that, to find your own way, your own personality with your drums, especially being kind of in the background versus a unique singer, a unique guitarist? Is it more difficult for a drummer, you think?
I don't know really. It's I think it's the struggle within. It doesn't really matters on what position you have.
Okay.
In the band. For me,
right.
It's just been it's trying to find what I am, sort of.
Sure.
Finding my identity
individually. Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So yeah.
Gotcha. Tammy?
So Ian, does it ever bother you or the band that in the US, Europe is usually considered a one-hit wonder, but you had 3 top 30 singles on the Billboard Top 100. Like Carrie actually charted higher than the Final Countdown. And then, and here, look, I've had this since.
Oh yeah. There
so,
you go.
You're popular, but they still often call you one-hit wonder. Does that bug you guys?
Well, it's in a way I understand why, because I think we in a way we sacrificed the success in the US before the rest of the world, because once when the Final Countdown hit the charts, we did one tour in 1987, I think it was, like a headline theater tour, which was pretty high standard for being the first tour for any band in the States. And that was pretty much the only tour we did, apart from when we were supporting Def Leppard a couple of years later. But by that time, that was in '89, I think. By that time, it was a little bit too late, because the Final Countdown and the hype around the band had sort of mellowed out a little. So even though we could go there and play and draw a pretty good audience, we didn't have that. We didn't have the momentum, and we didn't have the we weren't cemented like let's say Def Leppard or Boston or any other of those huge bands. I think if we stayed in the States and really worked hard for at least a year, just touring coast to coast for a year, then it would have been a different picture. But then again, people, the broad spectrum of people that heard Europe, they only heard the Final Countdown, or Carrie, Rock the Night, Cherokee maybe, or Superstitious. So for them, I guess we will be just that song. And if you're not a fan of the band, then we're going to look like a one-hit wonder. So it's not, it doesn't bug me. I have an understanding for it, but at the same time, what I feel more bad over is that all we can do is blame ourselves for not working harder in America when the momentum was right. But we can still go come to America on package tours and stuff like that, and do certain shows or package tours. But we still want to do more, and we're all constantly looking for options and the right packages to be able to go out. We were actually scheduled on a pretty good tour with I think it was Foreigner and Kansas, just
Wow.
When was that? Yeah, that was around the tour was set and everything, and we had like 30 or 40 gigs in the States already booked. And then the pandemic hit. So it was like a kick in the nuts.
Sure it was.
Guys, you're not
Sure
coming
it was.
here.
Well, and for us as, music lovers, it was terrible for everybody. I know obviously for actors, actresses, musicians, it hit them all hard. But us as lovers of the music and the films and TV and all that, it affected everybody. You're right. Unfortunately. Yeah. It changed the path for a lot of different things to happen, didn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Well, you're not.
Can you see? Can you guys see me now, or
not yet?
Through the camera.
Not yet. We're still hoping. Before we let you go, we're still going to hope that we get to see you.
Well, we're.
I have got these numbers. I just got to throw them out, and of course, they may not be exact, but they give you an idea.
Yeah.
So for you guys, I definitely don't consider you a one hit wonder by any stretch. Let's just talk about the Final Countdown. There's the third album by the band.
Yeah.
All right, just that one alone. Here it is. Around estimated 7 million records sold. 7 million records worldwide. The single and the number one overall in 25 countries, of course, was the Final Countdown. But you had on that album, there were 4 songs that were in top 40s. They were top 40 singles. And the album itself spent 70 weeks on the Billboard chart. And that's incredible in itself. Just to say that particular numbers is amazing to me. But I'll be honest with you. Since I've got you on here, I can say I want to say this to you. Of all the great songs, Superstitious is one of my all-time favorites. It most definitely is one. It wasn't on that album. It actually was on the album after it. I think it was on the 4th album or the 5th. I can't remember. Fourth album. And that's the song. And Cherokee, I love all those songs, and many more, of course, that we don't have time to talk about. But because I am a very, very huge fan. But Superstitious is one of those that's jumps right up to the top for me. Talk about that song a little bit. How that came about.
Well, we were, as always, or as it used to be, back in the time when there was actually, a record selling business. The record company that we were attached to at the time, CBS. So Sony CBS, I think it's called back in those days. We had as you mentioned, with the Final Countdown, a massive, huge success, and the record company obviously wanted to have a new album as soon as possible. As they do, they want to, milk the cow, as they say.
Right.
So So we basically Joe, I think he went to Denmark, country next to Sweden, and he spent some time there in a studio together with a guy writing songs, and it was all everything felt a little rushed and a little, it didn't come out of the usual creative process where songs organically, take shape over time. This was more like, okay, guys, we need to get 12 new songs together for the next album.
Yeah.
So it felt a little rushed, but I think Joe did one hell of a job to still come up with those songs,
Yeah. Because it is a phenomenal album, by the way.
Oh yeah, it is.
It is.
It's one of the one of the most even albums in my opinion. Even though the production is a little cold, I think, but that was just, the way it was back in the day.
Yeah, and it got overshadowed, it didn't it? It got overshadowed by obviously the Final Countdown album. But it's fantastic work, that the fourth album, I think, in my opinion.
Yeah, and also that album was the first album we did with Key Marcello on guitar, because John Norum left the band in right around the time when the Final Countdown became a huge hit.
Yep.
So that was a bit of a trial as well. He had been in the band for a year. We'd done a couple of tours, but we had never been working together in the studio or writing, so it was kind of confusing, especially for Joey as a songwriter, and Key Marcello also having a lot of songs and songwriting ambitions for the band. But I think she contributed with one song just at the beginning on that album. And then he co-wrote some other songs. And I think it turned out really good. Some of the songs are among the best songs we were written. And we still play, Superstitious, Left a Good Time, Rock, and Ready or Not. We play at time to time.
Oh, that's
to play them live, basically.
Yeah.
Basically on the show. So it's a lot of favorites, not only for the band, but for the audience. So,
absolutely.
That was a very good album. Yeah.
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
Ian, while I've got you, while we're talking albums, this may not be right. I found it somewhere. Does it sound kind of right that you, studio album wise, about 11 of them? Is that close?
You're muted, Ian.
Yep. There we go. We got him back, I think.
You hear me?
Yeah, we got you.
You hear me now?
Yeah, we got you. You may not have heard the question. Is it right at around 11 studio albums? Is that about right?
It is probably right.
Okay.
Let me just backtrack. The first one, Wings of Tomorrow, The Final Countdown, Out of This World, Prisoners in Paradise. And then we took the long break through the 90s. And we went back with Start from the Dark, Secret Society, Last Wicked Eden, Bag of Bones, War of Kings, and Walk the Earth. Yeah, that's right. 11.
Okay. Yeah. All right. I knew that was kind of close when I seen it, but I wasn't 100% sure if that was right or not. But and I want to, Tammy, jump in there if you got something you want to say there.
Yeah, I gotta ask you about that Geico commercial you guys were in. I think it's awesome, but I'm like, how do you guys feel about it?
Oh, we thought it was great. We got the question from Geico, and they explained how they wanted to shoot the video and what it was going to be about. So we thought, well, why not? Let's go for it. Let's have some fun, and I think the commercial turned out, it seemed to kick some new blood into, giving us some more momentum in America, at least for a while. So we thought it was more of a fun thing to do, and a little, just do it, have some fun.
Well, I have to tell you, so our son, when he was, I don't know, somewhere around 10, maybe 12, he started to golf. And he was in doing a few minor golf tournaments. And when we would go there, particularly my husband would take him, anytime he was getting ready to tee off, he would play The Final Countdown as his theme song.
Oh, yeah.
It was hilarious. Yeah. I don't know that our son appreciated it a lot, but we thought it was a lot of fun. He became a basketball player later, and I threatened to follow him to our neighborhood court, playing that on my boombox every time. He didn't want to do it, so.
No, it's that song is just it's taken a life of its of its own. You know,
Sure.
it's been played in so many different different situations, like well, elections and funerals and sports events and
Yeah.
you know
Yeah.
big events basically.
Yeah.
Because it's so universal, and it's so, I mean, the lyrics, it could be anything you put into it. You know, you can use it in so many
That's exactly right.
contexts.
Yeah.
So it's a song that is basically, I mean, if you hum the melody of the Final Countdown to any kid today, they would recognize the melody. They wouldn't realize, they wouldn't know who the band was, or who recorded it, or the
know the
history
song.
behind the song.
Yeah.
But they know the song. You know,
absolutely.
So it's become like a modern day classic, or whatever you want to call it.
So is it true that you guys meant that just to be a cool concert opener and not necessarily a hit?
Oh yeah, definitely. From the very beginning, it was used as an intro for a discotheque in Sweden.
Wow.
Yeah. So yeah, because the DJ, he at that discotheque, he needed a powerful intro just to make people, wake up and realize that, oh, the disco is happening now. So he asked Joey, can you write something, or do you have something that could work for this? But Joey recorded that the intro for him, and he played it at the disco. So that was established already then as a powerful intro for some reason.
Yeah.
And then later on, I think it was John Levin, the bass player in the band, suggested to Joe. I think they were actually at the disco when they played the intro.
Yeah.
And John Levin said to Joey, they were there partying. And John said, this is great. You should write a song around this, and so we could have it like a concert opener. So that was basically the thought behind it. And no, it was not written as a hit. It was written as just a cool song, with a different vibe and a different taste than the other stuff that we had.
Man, how things would have changed if those guys wouldn't have been at the disco. That's crazy.
Yeah,
that is awesome stuff. Yeah. Sometimes I guess things just kind of fall in the lap, don't they?
Yeah, exactly. That's how the I think that summarized pretty much how it works in the music business, or at least how it works. It just falls in your lap, and you just got to grab it, or you can always plan ahead. You can plan with have the right people, and you write the songs that you think will be a hit and stuff like that. But it's not there's no certainties at all. Everything is you need to have the right record company, people behind you, or the right management that believes in you and all that. But at the end, it's all about just being fortunate enough to be there at the right time. When people are ready to receive your music and to love it. Like when Nirvana came around with Smells Like Teen Spirit, it was the right time and the right message in the song, and the right attitude after the very puffed up aces as it had become, with spandex trousers and hairspray and all that. It had. I totally understand why the 80s rock music died away. It had grown out of their spandex pants. There was no more hairspray in the world to make the hair.
They had too much they've already used. Yeah.
Right.
Gotcha.
Right. So
used
it
all
was time
up.
for something new. Yeah. So
Great. That is
yeah,
great.
exactly.
Let's talk a couple more things here real quick about some of these albums because it's unique where they took place, where you recorded them. How
Yeah.
about talk to me about the being the first band, if I'm reading this correctly, where War of Kings was done, was recorded.
Yeah. Yeah.
Y'all were the first band in that Stockholm studio.
All right. Yeah, that's true. That's true. They were actually, as we
Yeah.
were loading in the instruments and setting up the gear in the studio, the engineers were still, soldering cables and stuff in the control room. So it wasn't even ready to go
Fully ready.
when
Yeah.
we moved.
Yeah.
Right.
Wow.
So I mean, we were working with Dave Cobb, the American producer.
Yeah.
On that one. He's a brilliant guy, and so he came right from Nashville, and he didn't have a clue about the studio. All he knew was that it's a brand new studio and it's top notch gear and everything. And he came there and he was like scratching his head, like, what, how are we
gonna pull this off? Yeah, yeah,
exactly. but in the end, it with some extra work, and trying and doing some errors and stuff, we found the right way, and it sounds great. It sounds
yes,
great.
it does. Yes, it does.
Yeah. So we were the first band in that studio.
Right.
Yeah.
And I want to say, here's the other one that I wanted to ask you about, and I want to say it's Walk the Earth, but you had that where you talked about that being an influence on you at a young age was the Beatles. So you got to record this one on Abbey Road Studios.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, wow! I bet that was a thrill.
Oh yeah, it was. I mean, basically every band that I mean, we were using the same studio as Pink Floyd, where they recorded Dark Side of the Moon and Wish You Were Here, and I mean, all the bands from the 70s and onwards had worked in that studio, and just coming there and coming into the studio and being there, it was like being in a rock and roll museum, or you felt like it was like a chapel of rock.
Sure, there you go. Well put. Well put.
Yeah, the first feeling you got when you came in, there was like, I'm not worthy. You fell on your knees. Stuff like that. So
y'all were definitely worthy. No worries there.
It was humbling, to be working in the same studio and using actually the same gears, like
equipment. Yeah,
there was like a metal box. I think it was like a compressor or whatever it was, with just one huge knob on it, and then it said, written with a marker on it, John Lennon vocals.
Oh my gosh!
So that little box was actually made especially for John Lennon.
Wow.
Voice while they were making,
unreal.
One of the albums.
One of the albums. So,
yeah. So just to see all that stuff and to be able to work with that gear, it was extremely humbling and honoring in a way.
Yeah, I've got to ask this while we're on that about the Abbey studio. Did y'all take the picture of doing the walk across the crosswalk?
Yeah, I think we did. But I think every living soul that goes through that studio or passes it by does that. So
right. Yeah, I hope I get the chance to do that someday.
It was fun. Yeah.
Fantastic. Tammy?
Yeah, I have a couple more questions. So in 98, you got to recover a cover version of Black Sabbath's Change It for Ozzy's tribute album. Tell us about that experience.
Okay. Wow. I thought that was just like myself and two other guys in the world knowing about it. So, that was cool.
No, there's more than that.
Yeah. Well, I remember I was approached by this guy who was running this little label in Sweden, and they were working on putting together a Black Sabbath tribute album, and they asked me if I could, contribute with something. And my first thought was I didn't have a band at the time, and I just thought that everyone is going to expect me to play one of the songs with a lot of drums and like Symptoms of the Universe or something like that. So I went the opposite way and picked the only song I believe it is without any drums, and which is a beautiful sad ballad, Changes, from Volume 4.
Mm-hmm.
And instead of playing drums, I did my other old work being a lead vocalist. So and I recorded everything in my little home studio at the time and did all the vocals and sent the tape away, and that was it basically. It was, I think I did it in a day or two in my house, in my own studio. So it was done very easily with very simple equipment and means. So yeah.
Did you ever hear from Ozzy about it?
No, I didn't hear anything from Ozzy.
All right, Ozzy, now's your chance.
Ozzy, you're gonna have to give him some love on that now.
Right.
I'm sure he's watching.
But it was fun.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He's watching this show. Absolutely.
Sure. Yeah. Anyway, but it was great fun, and it was honoring to be able to do that, and hearing that people appreciate it. So yeah, it was also just a fun thing that without any deeper meaning or anything.
Yeah. I need to, as we kind of get close to wrapping up here, a couple other things that kind of stuck out to me as I did some research. Now, Tammy, you may hit it with some of your, if you do some YouTubing and all that stuff with videos you post or whatever. DH and myself are not going to ever get this, but here it is. They were given an award from YouTube for having 1 billion, that's a billion with a B, 1 billion views for the final countdown on YouTube, which was amazing in itself. Just that one little snidbit. But Ian, you got to, as we kind of start, wrapping the circle up here a little bit, to have one of the most iconic songs, probably, you could list it in the very high in all of the rock songs that's ever been created. That would be there. That would definitely be there. And you got to feel great about, being a part of that.
It is amazing. It's unbelievable, actually. I pinch my arm every day, and every time I think about it, it's like just achieving that plaquette with 1 billion views,
Yeah, right.
On YouTube, which felt a little unreal because, 30 years or 40 years, 30 years earlier, I was standing on another, gold record award, and these days it's something else. Gold records don't exist anymore. Now you get a plaquette for having a video played
views.
a billion times.
Yeah, views. Right.
Yeah, so that was really amazing, and you know what? I think YouTube has done a lot great stuff for us when it comes to renewing the audience, because
I
think kids see the final countdown,
that's
the video on YouTube, and they hear the song, and they don't care if the song is 40 years old. If it's a cool song in their ears, it's a
that's
great
exactly
song,
right.
And if it's the first time they hear it, it's a new song for them, even if it's 40 years old.
Right.
So it has created a new platform for us, or a new new audience. So
absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So it's been a great. We're really grateful for that award thing.
Sure.
I currently play with the School of Rock in a small band. It's my third year here, and I'd really like to know, like, what's your advice for somebody starting out in a band? Like, any kind of advice. Like, we need to know a lot of stuff.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, it's hard to today, at least, to. I think you have to drop the ambition of believing that you will be recording an album or something and get a hit on the radio, because I don't think it works that way anymore. I think the ambition that you should have as a new musician is just to, well, as it was for myself, just first of all have fun, and secondly do what you believe in, and don't follow any other people that tell you what to do. You should do this, you should play the drums or the guitar this or that way. Just do it your way. Do it, and as I said earlier, personality is so much more attractive and valuable in my ears, at least, than being technical. You see so many kids on YouTube playing, shredding away and playing better than the best guitar players from the 80s already when they're like 8 or 10 years old. But they know the technique of it, but they could never interact with in a band situation. They could never be like a showman on stage. And so don't get too involved in the technical stuff to begin with. Do your own thing and play the instrument the way that you feel right with doing. And also when the songwriting, do your own thing. Don't try to sound like something else, because by the time you get your song heard, by the people, that style is going to be passé. It's going to be yesterday's news. So you got to do your own thing and believe in yourself and work hard. Of course, you need to practice. You need to rehearse. And I think, in my opinion, the most important thing, if you want to be a rock musician, is to get a band together, a band of 3, 4, or 5 guys that believe in the same stuff, and get a rehearsal room and just go in there and play your music 24/7. Just go for it, and because that's the very first step. That's where you create a band chemistry, and you create your own sound, and you create a possibility to take it to the next step and get out and play live, and after that, the sky's the limit.
Thank you. That's awesome.
Fantastic.
Yeah, okay.
Fantastic advice. Ian, it's been an honor and a true pleasure to have you. If you could hold right there, and we'll wrap this thing up.
Right on. Yeah. Thanks.
Okay.
Thanks for having me. I'm sorry you couldn't see me.
Thank you.
Hey, well, here's the deal. We'll do this. We'll have to definitely have you back on then.
Yeah, definitely. It's been great fun to be with you guys. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll definitely have you back on, my friend. Yeah, hold right there, and we'll wrap this thing up.
Right.
All right. Tammy, appreciate you jumping in the co-host seat today. Appreciate you as always. You're always there to help save the day.
Thanks,
So,
TC.
all right. Pleasure having you on the show today with us. All right. Hold there. Let's go ahead and get our sponsors in real quick. DND Dynamite 80s would like to thank their sponsors, Hudson's Flags and More, The Nesting Project of Smyrna, Tennessee, PJG Marketing, Totally Cool 80s, and Charlie Bubbles Cares for Kids. You can find all these great folks online. And my friend Tammy Dever, right here to my left. I guess she's on the right for me, but she's on my left in the picture. But anyway, yeah, check out her trivia books. She's got them on her shelf in the back, and you can get those off her website at Totally Cool 80s. They're awesome. If you think you know stuff about the 80s, you do not. You will have a fun time with this trivia stuff. DH and myself always get stumped every time that she throws out some questions. But they're fun. Man, they are great books and helps relive those 80s for us, so check those out. Once again, we appreciate her being on the show today. Mr. Ian Haugland, true gentleman. We really appreciate him joining us from Sweden. We had some technical difficulties, and he was a trooper, and we appreciate him doing that. So, Ian, once again, we appreciate you, my friend, and we hope to get to see you in the Nashville area sometime.
Absolutely. I will be happy to be there and to in visual as well this time.
All right. Well, if you come our way, we'll definitely going to come see you for sure, my friend.
Or Austin.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Or Austin, right. She's in the Austin, Texas area. Okay.
Oh, I love Texas. I love
there
Texas.
You go.
Yeah.
There you go, Tammy. Maybe you're in.
We got a spare room for you.
There you go. Yeah. That's what I was about to say. Ian's more than welcome to stay at our house as well. So there you go. No, we appreciate it all very well. All the best to your family and very safe in your travels. I know you're a busy guy. You're all over the place. Please be safe in your travels. And yeah, we look forward to definitely catching up with you again in the future.
Yeah. Thank you very much, guys. Thanks for having me.
Ian, what's next for you?
Yeah. Please tell us.
Oh, yeah. What's next? Oh, I'm going to. Hang on. I'm not even sure. We're just kicking off the summer tour. We have 20 shows booked throughout Europe. Big festivals and stuff. So yeah. All right. Well, I know. We're playing in Denmark in our house as a support act for Journey. Actually.
Wow. Fantastic.
So that's gonna be great.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I'm going to see those guys later on in the late summer for the second or third time, I think, here in Nashville. Maybe they'll let y'all kick a ride back on the plane, and y'all can do a Nashville show with them. That'd be awesome.
Great. That would be great. Yeah, we're impressed.
Now we'll definitely be looking for you to get this way, my friend, for sure.
Thank you.
So like I said, we appreciate you taking the time with us.
Thank you for having me.
As DC always kind of closes out the show, DH, my man, you missed a great one. He'll be sick that he missed it, but he's a great partner and a true friend, and he had to work, and that's the way that kind of goes. But anyway, yeah. So what do you think, Tammy? Fantastic, huh?
Great guy. My high school self's freaking out. That's what I mean. Really.
Yeah.
They're fantastic.
Yeah. What a true honor. What a true honor.
Such a nice guy.
Yes, he is. Yeah. True gentleman, like I said, and I'd read so many great things about him, like I said, as I prepared for the show. And man, that's been an honor for me to be able to talk with him for a little bit. And
almost
that's
feel
awesome.
like you wrote
That's fantastic. Yeah. And that's good stuff. the old cassette. The old cassette days.
My favorite.
So there you go. That's a true treasure to hang on to for sure.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Tammy, we appreciate it. We'll see you again real soon, and we'll stay in contact and all that stuff. And you're going to jump on here. I guarantee you there'll be several that we'll try to re-ask you to help out with. I know before we see you for your other ones that are already booked.
I got a couple goals, so we'll see if we can find some more people to chat with.
Oh, that'd be fantastic. I'm all in. I'm all in as usual. For Tammy Dever, like I said, joining us from Austin, Texas. This is DC from D&D Dynamite 80s in Nashville, Tennessee. And DC always kind of leads you out or gets you kind of saying with keep playing those 80s, folks, and we'll see you next time. Oh, tomorrow night. We finish May on a high note, of course. We've had a great, tremendous May. The month of May's been tremendous. Susan Snyder, the actress Susan Snyder, been in a lot of stuff, but one of the most popular things that you would know, she was one of those main characters and main actresses in Weird Science. So seems like a very nice lady. She confirmed it today. Yep, be on with you guys tomorrow night and all that stuff. So looking forward to that one. So please try to catch that one. That's a 7:30 Central Standard Time tomorrow night, and DH should be back in the seat. We'll see. But yeah, we hope all of you that can will join and watch that one and ask you questions, because he'll be able to monitor the all the comments and questions and all that stuff. So yeah. But once again, Tammy, appreciate your help on this one. And yeah, what a thrill for both of us, I know. And it went fine. You know, hey, modern technology doesn't work sometimes. We were just blessed that we had a audio for him, so that's fantastic. That worked out just as well. So anyway, for DC, for Tammy, Dever, we appreciate you joining in, and we'll see you next time.